This is day 502 of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi. If you'd like to sponsor upcoming shir or more of the Arukh HaShulchan Yomi, please contact me directly. Very greatly appreciated. Today we're doing Siman Shin Yud still. Looks like we are Shin Yud Daled. Sorry. Looks like finishing Shin Yud Daled today. Shin Yud Daled Chaf to Shin Yud Daled Chavav. Because of Od Kasam Siftes, Mutar Afkiyav Lachtoch Kishrei Hashpud, you're allowed to unravel or to cut the knots in a skewer. Shekoshim Betlev Ofatlim, with which you tie a sheep or a bird which you are roasting. Klamar meaning Shekoshim Kaktsavos. You tie the ends with a string or something else. Like we are accustomed by us when we fill the kishkas. You tie off the ends of the kishka with a string. In order that the filling should not fall out of it. So I guess evidently this is these are birds and sheep which have filling in them, and that filling is tied. They tie it up so the filling doesn't fall out. So you're allowed to cut that. Stuffing, not filling, stuffing. Right. This also like breaking nuts and almonds. Even though cutting something is one of the avos malachos, ubedavar talush. And even and specifically something which is not connected to the ground is mechatech. That's when you cut in precise with precision for some purpose. But you're just ruining the knot. And to ruin something when you're cutting something which is not connected to the ground for the purpose of Shabbos, with the guy mechatchila, it's mutzah even lechatchila. But if it's tied with some type of vessel, also it's still not allowed to calculate me the rabbanon. A rifin. This is you have a vessel which has some sort of bands on it, which is called rifin, and then you have to take lasir chashukin me'alov to remove these bands from it. Then you tiftach clean in order to open the vessel. Till masha b'sham and take what's inside. Kamo chavios katanos, like by small barrels. Also, it's forbidden. I guess that is really being so there. By moving these bands. Any Yehudi is right here. Can only be permitted by non-Jew. But time to set the perk test. Korea. A person can rip the leather off the top of a barrel of wine. It's like cutting the strings which are holding the filling, the stuffing in the animal which is being roasted. The leather is not a keli. But be careful they don't tie in a way which makes a nice hole. The Seth concludes you're not supposed to make a zinuki and kimo node to make it like a canteen. The zeo kasiyas keli also that's like making a keli, that's forbidden. A karo kera aroch, you make a long rip, but a bunch of animal source notes so it doesn't look like the opening of a canteen, which would be round, of course. Can't cook clear to anything similar. Chafav okas abasif yud. Also writes in sif yud dachos samash bekarka. If you have steels in the ground, such as the door of a pit in which there is a knot, which is a rope. You can untie it. Because it's not a permanent knot. It's made to be undone. But you cannot unravel it or cut it. Shum steer, because that's considered to be steer, and he says brackets came on the mechubal karka, because it's connected to the ground. This is only specifically when this knot was made to sustain it, and without any intention of moving on Shabbos. In other words, actually even more, with the intention not to move it on Shabbos. But if it's not made to be sustained at all, just randomly there, it can be taken off any time, mutter is permissible. That's you're allowed to move a plank which you put in front of an oven in order to seal it off. The short can also be teeth, and you even glue it to the oven with pitch. It's not made to be sustained there. All this is a quote from Shulchan Aruch. When it's not made, this is the Arukh thing, obviously. When it's not made to sustain even one day, it's not called a construction. Okay, it's not called construction. It's not called deconstruction if you remove it. Even though we brought down the Shitas Yerushalmi, that temporary building is a building. Ayin Sham, by the Mizbeach, that's at least for one day. Lo pachos mizeh, not less than a day. Right, the Mishkan Kavur Sham, and the evidence is that we learn from the Mishkan, as explained there. And they would never spend less than a day in a place where they park themselves. The Kamfurish Bater Parshas Baloscha. It says so explicitly in Parshas Baloscha. But Avgav Dichsiv Sham, even though it says sometimes the cloud was there from evening till morning, which sounds like only 12 hours, less than a complete day. We just assume that they didn't put up the tents at night. And they didn't remove the whatever things they were carrying in their wagons or whatever until morning. Nevertheless, it's not clear. It could be it's less than a day. Not sure why he brings that as a raya. The bracket says here, the Masha Kosfu, which Enosh Kesh Kayama. Those who say that which is written, it's not a permanent knot. Zeu Dafka. And specifically had in mind to undo it, I guess, no later Motzei Shabbos. If not, having Tzatz Kesh come, it's a little bit like a permanent knot. Shibur also agrees this. There's that, actually, Mr. has the same opinion, but says it's like the Enkim Dara Machal. It's not true by food stuff. I feel like Shimon Shinu Zayin, the Gamli Yom Echad, we create Kesher Tzatz, even though hold that even for one day it's going to be somewhat of a permanent knot. Those things which you're not compelled to undo them. Not with food, which obviously it's made to undo. As you don't say that, what goods do you want to remove to undo Motzei Shabbos? Still more than 24 hours from the beginning of Shabbos, so it should be considered to be Kesher Shokayama. So it must be, or at least Mixas Kesher Shokayama. So it must be that for food we're more lenient. And the poskim are mako in all sorts of wrappings. Like if you have napkins and you have to rip open the plastic in order to get the napkins. Cups, you have to plastic cups, you have to rip the plastic out there. Even if you have, let's say, a corkscrew, it's something random, and it's in a plastic bubble, you can open the bubble. All those things were not made to stay closed. They're only made to convey the object from the store to your house. Chabes. Until now, we've explained how to make a hole in a barrel on Shabbos. What if there is a hole? You want to seal it on Shabbos. Ram writes, just like you're not allowed to open any hole, also you're also not allowed to close any hole. You're not allowed to close the hole in a barrel. Something which you don't have to smear. And even something which you're not going to come to squeeze out liquid from it. Such as using a stick or a small stone. But if you put there food in order to preserve it, okay, safe keep it, and the hole is closed on its own, that's permissible. One can use a ruse in doing this. It's the including Rambam. Klomar, meaning, explains Arukh HaShulchan, you take a food stuff, you and say you want to safe keep it in that hole, and the hole is closed automatically on its own. But Torah Shemar Sif Yidal Kosu Durak Tam Chacham Mutar Varim Bekaf Ein Sham. They let Tam Chacham use such a rules because we're afraid in Amor to come to be Mazalzdal on Shabbos if he does it. Came Bor Bagmara Shomer Sham the Zel HaRama Bid Rabbanon. This is Gemara says this is a ruse in a rabbinic problem. But Sumer Rabbanon last them Lechatchila and Sham Tam Chacham knows does not take this as precedent to do it Lechatchila as well. Acharam Mafarish the Kai Sham Al Hadavar Hasheni. But the Rambam seems to be saying that that's the limitation. Tamachal was going to the second thing mentioned there. Labor Marbores Ayin Sham to go in a ferry boat. Because this is a very public spectacle. He's not going on, according to this, the safekeeping in the whole. Dame is a piercing. It's not a public spectacle, so it should be okay. Near the Afghan the comment even for non-Tam Chacham. Near the Afghan the comment for any Tam Chacham, but I say, even though for many things you don't have to halach Tam Chacham or day and age, come in there. The Rambam Mati Chol Adam. Nevertheless, in this area, the Rambam allows everybody who come out feel to B'Shach Yesh Din Tam Chacham Bizman Hazeh. They would say even to ensure there is a din of Tam Chacham. And Tam Chacham can be Mekel. In other words, since the Rambam is Mekel across the board, we can say that at least the Tam Chacham should be able to Mekel. Mishabur says not everybody agrees to that. Chav Gimel, you should know. V'dah, you should know. The Rambam Shalom L'Kaman, the Din Av Kosav Marech L'Tiyah B'Shabbos, somebody who smears a plaster on Shabbos. A plaster is a bandage which has some sort of ointment in it. Or you're liable because you are smoothing out the skin. Therefore, you also cannot close a hole with wax, etc. Because you might come to smear it. Even with fats, you can't close a hole because you might come to use wax. Very move on. So Arukh HaShulchan doesn't understand this. Forget about smearing. You're not allowed to close it, whether you smear or not. But here it's a Maggid Mishnah, so evidently Maggid Mishnah had this difficult. Also, Myra, Bestima Gmura. Where is it also to close it when it's an absolute closure? And he defines that as when the plug, which closes it, goes into the entire thickness of the hole. Bona is well in that case. That's also in everything. But here, however, it's talking about only to plug the hole on top. In other words, you're plugging it actually. You're covering it on top. That can't be considered to be a construction, and what that's permissible. Let's say we have to smear. The suspicion might come to smear. Also, it's forbidden. And other things are okay. Substances ayin sham. Yesh mishatir, it's those that answer talking busha. The father also b'chol davar. It's definitely also to use anything to cover the hole, and it doesn't matter the thickness of your plug. When there's you're smearing something, you have another law you're transgressing. That's the Mishnah. When any is like Yesh Taretz, Arukh HaShulchan says his own resolution. The Kabbalah says the B'davar Shem Ruach means that if something where there's smearing involved, I feel even if you do it legit, not as a ruse. You do it because you want to safe keep the food there. No. That's no good. If you want to put there to safe keep a piece of wax or a thick fat, doesn't work. The brackets for rack kashali hashava v'muktzah. But something is difficult to me, says Arukh, that the wax should be muktzah. Why are you allowed to carry it all together? By the fat, you could say, okay, it's suitable to eat. It's very viscous, it's very thick, but it's still suitable to eat. Another bracket, separate brackets. So Magen Avram, Sivkot Zayin Kosa Sheichin Hashava Me'esmo. Magen Avram evidently going to try to answer that question. He says you prepared the wax from yesterday. Ayin Sham. The tzarich iu ma shaykh hachana b'davar she'en roy l'shum malachas heter. How's the shaykh hachana If something's not suitable for any malacha setter, even sticks and stones, you can use from malacha setter, but not wax. And if you did prepare to close the hole, should use it to cover to plug it from before Shabbos began. Okay. The clove out. But two of alsotain shava or shemen shu av meneka chavis now put wax or thick oil in the hole of the barrel. Neshu mareh because you're smearing. Chavis shenikva if you have a barrel which got a hole. But yeah, it's a man the wine is coming out from there. Alsotain bo bad show I'll show shum lisosmo. Now let's put a fabric of garlic. I don't know if it's actually literally garlic, or maybe of anything it means. To close it. Bimu marim, if you're doing a ruse, v'amash nosa shem la'tzniya, you're putting it there, putting it there in order to safekeep it. Us inish the almad, it's also for a regular person, or to berabon shayr for the time of chom, it's a mitzvah akal shom. And midvav near the tarti kamar. It seems that he's saying two things from the tour. Before it's not talking about a hole where wine is coming out from there. She's talking about but it looks like cracks in the barrel, which may break. They might become actually holes over time. But now it's not going to be building. And therefore, only if you're smearing it's awesome. You're smearing the wax saviv hanekev around the hole, the dovka b'dof nekli, to cause to cling to the walls of the vessel and sham. Why are you right inside the hole? Because saviv hanekev, but he wrote around the hole. Well, it shows him it's talking because that's what we do with cracks. And the second halacha, which is talking about not putting in the beged. That's like what wine is coming out of it, out of the barrel. It's not just crack. Chavches. Rabbi says also retain shav or shemen of. Now I'll put wax or thick oil in the hole of the barrel in order to close it up. Because you are smearing. But other things which there is no smearing. And he says in brackets, since the wine is not coming out of there, mutar, it's permissible. Mishabur writes that the Achronim say that no, we pass the Rambam argues in this and holds that even if there's no wine coming out from there, you're not allowed to put there anything within the hole in order to plug it up because it's like bonet. On top of the hole, on the surface, where there is no binyan, then it's only also with something which is smear. So, Mr. Bura is machmir and says that if it's something which is to put a plug and put any plug in the hole is also to put on top of the hole is only also with smears. And this is true even if wine is not coming out from there at this point. Shulman says, if no wine is not coming out, then you can plug the hole. Period. And he continues, the wine is coming out of the hole, you're not allowed to close it up. Again, to put garlic, it sounds like. I really don't know what this is. Derech harama. I guess it's really a garlic. I guess the garlic plugs up the hole. It didn't say before beged shulshum. Bad shum. I guess a bad shum is not a fabric of a fabric, but it means actually a piece of garlic, a single maybe clove of garlic. That's what it is, a clove of garlic. Okay, fine. So that's what it is. Here too, I feel the table shum to put inside it a clove of garlic. Derech harama has a rule. So to say you only have mind to safe keep it there is not okay. V'mutam chacham. That was since it has real hole. Now to put it, now to do the roots, unless the time then he can't do it. Distinction between when the wine is coming out of the hole. The other misakin, then it's considered like fixing. And it's not coming out. It doesn't look like it's fixing. We see love came under the neck of echad, and they complained against this approach. Since there's the same hole, malim yesh bo yain, ein bo yain. Whether there's wine or not, you're fixing hole. So Arukh HaShulchan says, "V'linear b'kamal shanekev katon she'ayin yotzi derech sham." When the wine's are coming out of that, means it's a small hole from which wine can't come out. That's what we said before about the cracks. In brackets, you see it says, "V'agos from akasav hoil v'ena yain yotzei oz." The wine's not going out then. So Arukh HaShulchan, you have to say it means ein b'cholas, let's say. It can't come out then at all because the crack is too small. The tevas oz, and it says ein yain yotzei oz, then ulai utos, maybe that's a mistake. Evidently, you're allowed to use a piece of wood to plug the hole. Hakavana derech megufa means in the form of a lid. Sheyecholas liklo misham, that he can remove it from there. Ayin tasherech dvar tzuchin ayin shamaduk. The Mishnah Berurah says it's talking about a spigot, which I guess you would normally put there anyway. Okay? Chafav, od kasab b'sifyud beis. Second, should talk about, because if you have a knife which is plugged into the wall, it was embedded in the wall. Bibol Yom from before Shabbos began. Also, let's see Shabbos now. Taking on Shabbos came with you because it's connected to the wall. And we'll talk about Sapso, but it's plugged. It's embedded in a bench. And came with anything else which is not connected to the ground. Mutal, you're allowed to take it out. If you put it in and removed it before Shabbos began, and even the wall, Shayat Shmeir Akan Sham. So the Mishnah Berurah says that we're talking about here a wall of wood, because then it's actually being embedded. Because if it's a wall of stones or bricks, sometimes there are rows which are not connected to each other. In other words, they're not cemented together. And then you're allowed to stick a knife into one of those cavities and remove on Shabbos, even and do so from before Shabbos began. Back to Arukh HaShulchan. The Arukh says, so that which says if you pushed it in and took it out, Kasvar Rabbeinu Ramah Ramah writes this. Too much question about small, but Sof Sif Aleph. Even if it's not connected to the wall, it's something which is severed from the wall. This we're embedding it. It only works in this manner. I'm not sure exactly what he means by that. I guess it's like, I don't know. Not sure why. What it has to do? If it's off the wall, it should be just like a block in which you put the knives. I don't know what the issue is. Rabbeinu says about small animal chak matosh. Rabbeinu says only distinguishes between if it's not connected to the ground, connected to the ground. Can you ram matoch l'shon, as we see from his language? But since according to the din of the Gemara, if you embedded it and removed it from before Shabbos, okay. And when it's the block of wood is not in the ground, we don't even need that. Should then be named because there's no binim mekanim in this manner, which causes Sifra Galo, like I guess he wrote in the Beis Yosef himself. El Denog Amales or Gam Kem Below Datzim Shofar. The minhag is not to allow it even to be embedded in a keli unless you embedded it and then removed it from before Shabbos. So Ramah doesn't require this here. That's according to Ikar Din. So Sif Aleph, where he said he does require it. That's according to minhag that you have to embed and remove from before Shabbos. Mr. Berurah says that the problem with the doorway is that it looks like you're masaking the Pesach if you remove the knife. That's why I guess you have to remove it from Shabbos, better remove it from before Shabbos begins.